clicking on the raise hand button being circled by the mouse on your screen now. At the appropriate time, the board will recognize you to speak and ask you to unmute your mic as shown here. Again, public testimony will be accepted at the beginning of the meeting and before each agenda item. Public attendees will not be able to unmute their microphone until recognized by the board. Public attendees who are recognized to testify will be asked to identify themselves by name and their affiliated organization if applicable. Please mute your microphone when you are finished speaking as a courtesy to others and members of the board. Public attendees will not be able to unmute themselves after the testimony is completed unless recognized again after raising their hand. At some point during the meeting, the board may choose to move into executive session. When the board moves into executive session, the board members' microphones and video feeds will be turned off, and a similar screen as you see now will be displayed. When the board returns from executive session, their microphones will be turned on as well as their video cameras.
Welcome again to the Professional and Vocational Licensing Virtual Board Meeting.
At this time, the chair will call the meeting to order and take a roll call, as well as explain any additional rules that may be specific to this board.
Okay, so good afternoon. I'm calling the meeting to order now, but I would like to make sure that I appraise anyone who's here of the following. So for internet access, to view the meeting and provide live oral testimony, please use the link that's at the top of the agenda, and you will be asked to enter your name, and the board requests that you enter your full name, but you may use a pseudonym or other identifier if you wish to remain anonymous. You'll also be asked for an email address, and you may fill this in with an entry that follows the general format. As an example, a username with the sign @ and the email domain, generally something mail.com. Your microphone will be automatically muted. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may click the raise hand button found on your Zoom screen to indicate that you wish to testify about a particular agenda item. The chairperson will individually enable each testifier to unmute their microphone when recognized by the chairperson. Please unmute your microphone before speaking and mute your microphone after you finish speaking. And as far as phone access is concerned, if you cannot get internet access, you may use audio-only access by calling the Zoom number that's also listed at the top of the agenda. Upon dialing the number, you'll be prompted to enter the meeting ID, which is also listed at the top of the agenda. And after entering the meeting ID, you will be asked to enter your panelist number or wait to be admitted into the meeting. Note that you will not have a panelist number, so please wait until you are admitted into the meeting. When the chairperson asks for public testimony, you may indicate you want to testify by entering the star sign and then the number 9 on your phone's keypad. After entering the star sign and then the number 9, a voice prompt will let you know that the host of the meeting has been notified. When recognized by the chairperson, you may unmute yourself by pressing the star sign and then the number 6 on your phone. A voice prompt will let you know that you are unmuted. Once you are finished speaking, please enter the star sign and then the number 6 to again mute yourself. For both internet and phone access, when testifying, you'll be asked to identify yourself and the organization, if any, that you represent. Each testifier will be limited to 5 minutes of testimony per agenda item. And if the connection to the meeting is lost for more than 30 minutes, the meeting will be continued on a specified date and time, and that information will be provided on the board's website. Instructions to attend the State of Hawaii virtual board meetings may also be found on the board's website. So again, I'm calling the meeting to order. I'm going to take a roll call at the start. Please let me know if you are present and alone for purposes of this virtual meeting. So I'm Danny Takanishi, Oahu member, current chairperson. I am present and I'm alone. Mr. Gary Belcher?
Present and alone.
Dr. Andrew Fong?
Present and alone.
Dr. Brian Hatton?
Present and alone.
Dr. Elizabeth Ignacio?
Present and alone.
Dr. Michael Jaffe?
Present and alone.
Mr. Wesley Munn? And I don't see him on the screen. Okay. Dr. Angela Pratt?
Present and alone.
Dr. Rebecca Soai?
Present and alone.
Dr. Jerry Young?
Present and alone.
And I do see Mr. Wesley Munn. Mr. Munn, are you able to turn your camera on?
I think he's having some tech issues. He's been coming in and out, so
Okay, well, we do have quorum, and so we will, for purposes of the minutes, we will make an acknowledgement when he's actually able to enter into the meeting room. I do see on the screen that he's trying again. But in the meantime, I think we'll move ahead. And so I apologize, so the minutes of the February 2025 meeting, we did not have available to appropriately notice, and so that will be carried over to the next meeting. So we're not going to move to approve those minutes for obvious reasons. At this point, I do want to ask if there's any members of the public who'd like to provide any testimony at this point in time, but I do also want to note that should you be here on behalf of yourselves or others who are either on the adjudicatory matters or under the applications for licensure, that we will admit you into either into our adjudicatory room or into the executive session at the time those specific adjudicatory matters or applications are discussed. So that being said, any members of the public, would you like to provide any testimony at this time?
Thank you, Chair. This is Johnny. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So under the purview of the chairperson, I would like now for the board members to recess into adjudicatory session under Chapter 91. So we will now move into adjudicatory session, and a vote is not needed for this.
everybody.
that there's not going to be a whole lot of downtime. Right, we are back in open session. So I'm going to take a quick roll call. And so you all can, for the purposes of the minutes, because this is virtual, but for the purpose of the written minutes, if you can just indicate if you are present and alone. So Danny Takanishi, I am present and alone. Mr. Gary Belcher.
Present and alone.
Dr. Andrew Fong.
Present and alone.
Dr. Brian Hatton.
Present and alone.
Dr. Elizabeth Ignacio.
Present and alone.
Dr. Michael Jaffe.
Present and alone.
Mr. Wesley Munn. Mr. Munn?
Present and alone.
Okay, thank you. So you're attending by phone call. We acknowledge the challenge with the video then. We acknowledge the challenge with the video. Okay. All right, Dr. Angela Pratt.
Present and alone.
Dr. Angela Pratt. Dr. Angela Pratt. I think, yeah, I was going to say, Mr. Munn, I think you have to mute. Dr. Rebecca Sawai. Dr. Rebecca Sawai.
Sorry, present and alone.
And Dr. Jerry Young.
Present and alone.
Okay, thank you. I'm not sure why I'm seeing a screen. Okay. All right. So just as an announcement, in adjudicatory session, the board had approved the 3 items on the adjudicatory agenda under agenda item number 3, A, B, and C. So the board approved the following adjudicatory matters: settlement agreements, which included under A, Mark E. Kruger, MD, MED 2024-144-L. The board did approve that settlement agreement. Item number 3B, the matter of license to practice osteopathic medicine of Marvin F. Pinzon, DO, MED 2024-257-L. The board approved that settlement agreement. And agenda item 3C, the matter of the license to practice medicine of Michael P. Quirk, DO, MED 2024-240-L. The board approved that settlement agreement. And so now if I could entertain a motion to enter into executive session.
Belcher, so moved.
Okay, thank you. So I heard Dr. Ignacio moved and Dr. Belcher seconded. Okay, all right. So all those in favor, please raise your hands. Okay. And since Mr. Munn is not able to turn his video on, let me just do a quick roll call on that. So Danny Takanishi, I approve moving into executive session. Mr. Gary Belcher.
Approve.
Dr. Andrew Fong.
Approve.
Dr. Brian Hatton.
Approve.
Dr. Elizabeth Ignacio.
Approve.
Dr. Michael Jaffe.
Approve.
Mr. Wesley Munn, are you able to unmute? Okay, we'll continue on. Dr. Angela Pratt.
Approve.
Okay, all right, thank you,
Approve.
Mr. Hunt. Dr. Angela Pratt,
Approve.
Dr. Rebecca Sawai,
Approve.
and Dr. Jerry Young.
Approve.
Okay, and so we'll now enter into executive session. I'm going to do a quick roll call. Just let me know if you're present and alone. So I'm Danny Takanishi, Oahu member, current chairperson. I'm present and alone. Mr. Gary Belcher.
Present and alone.
Dr. Andrew Fong.
Present and alone.
Dr. Brian Hatton.
Present and alone.
Dr. Elizabeth Ignacio.
Present and alone.
Dr. Michael Jaffe.
Present and alone.
Mr. Wesley Munn. Okay, not sure if he's able to unmute. Dr. Angela Pratt. I'm sorry, Mr. Munn.
Okay, I got unmuted.
Oh, okay.
Present and alone.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And then Dr. Angela Pratt confirmed. She was present and alone. So Dr. Sawai.
Present and alone.
And Dr. Jerry Young.
Present and alone.
Okay. All right, so we will move on to, first of all, let me just ask, any members of the public like to provide any testimony?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Okay. All right, so we're going to move on to agenda item 4A, applications. And so on the matter of application for licensure of Dr. Soon-Hee Kim, I would move to approve the application for licensure. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Young. Any further discussion? There being none, all those, well, let me do a roll call because Mr. Munn, I won't be able to see his hand being raised, but Danny Takanishi, Oahu member, I vote affirmatively to approve. Mr. Gary Belcher.
Vote to approve.
Dr. Andrew Fong.
Approve.
Dr. Brian Hatton.
Approve.
Dr. Elizabeth Ignacio.
Approve.
Dr. Michael Jaffe.
Approve.
Mr. Wesley Munn.
Approve.
Thank you. Dr. Angela Pratt.
Approve.
Dr. Rebecca Sawai.
Approve.
And Dr. Jerry Young.
Approve.
Okay. All right, so that passes. And then next on the application for licensure for Dr. Nathaniel Valen, if I can entertain a motion on that application.
So I move to approve.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Patton, second.
All right, thank you. Any further discussion? Okay, I'm going to do a roll call again. So Danny Takanishi, I approve. Mr. Gary Belcher.
Approve.
Dr. Andrew Fong.
Approve.
Dr. Brian Hatton.
Approve.
Dr. Elizabeth Ignacio.
Approve.
Dr. Michael Jaffe.
Approve.
Mr. Wesley Munn.
Approve. Approve.
Thank you. Dr. Angela Pratt.
Approve.
Dr. Rebecca Sawai.
Approve.
And Dr. Jerry Young.
Approve.
Okay, so so it passes. Moving on now to the ratification list that's in front of you. It's dated March 13, 2025. If I can have a motion to approve the ratification list before you.
So I move to approve.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sawai. Is there a second?
Belcher, second.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Belcher. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, what I'm going to do again is I'm going to do a quick roll call. So Danny Takanishi, I approve. Mr. Gary Belcher.
Approve.
Dr. Andrew Fong.
Approve.
Dr. Brian Hatton.
Approve.
Dr. Elizabeth Ignacio.
Approve.
Dr. Michael Jaffe.
Approve.
Mr. Wesley Munn.
Approve.
Dr. Angela Pratt.
Approve.
Dr. Rebecca Sawai.
Approve.
And Dr. Jerry Young.
Approve.
Okay, so it passes. So moving on, so agenda item number 5, item A, as you can see, this is for the bills that are currently being tracked. and some of the testimony that's been provided on behalf of the board by the executive officer. And so at this point, I just want to see if members of the board have any questions about that agenda item, and if Ms. Fukunaga would like to comment on any of those.
So let's see, for 1373, that was a sex offender bill that was heard yesterday by the, I think it was the Consumer Protection and Commerce Committee of the House, and it was passed, I believe, with amendments. And then 1365 was also heard yesterday, and that is this is the IMLC bill, and that was heard by the Health Committee of the House. That was also passed with amendments. And then 1379 is going to be heard next week by the Senate side. And we changed the language in this bill had changed, and the HD2 version of this to the board approved draft that was approved at, I believe it was a December meeting last year. Yeah, so that's all the updates for what I've been submitting on behalf of the board.
All right, thank you. Any questions from the board? Any members of the public would like to comment or provide testimony?
Thank you, Chair. We do not have anyone requesting to provide testimony.
Okay. All right. And so before we move to the executive officer's report pertaining to financial disclosures, I did want to make a motion to add to the agenda an agenda item that would not in any way, in accordance with statutes, have any substantive effect on either the public welfare or on matters of adjudicatory components related to licensure application and determinations of the fitness in that regard. And specifically, I'd like to make a motion to put on the agenda to a vote for the representative from our board to serve as the delegate to the Federation of State Medical Boards House of Delegates that's convening in April of this year. And so if I can have a second to that motion.
Jaffe, second.
Thank you, Dr. Jaffe. Just in terms of explanation, as many of you know, the Federation of State Medical Boards meets on an annual basis and does include a House of Delegates that votes on some of the, if you will, proposals that are submitted to the House of Delegates of the Federation. And these proposals are not binding on any of the 70 jurisdictions in the United States, such as ours, on matters that pertain to individual boards. But a number of these have to do with policy statements on the part of the Federation. These include approvals for some of the items that come before it, such as, an example, the guiding documents on things related to physician impairment, for example, return to practice, professionalism expectations. And so each jurisdiction does have one or two delegates depending on the actual size. So Hawaii has one. And so, so that's context. And so in general, it's usually been historically, when you look at how it's populated, presidents or chairs at that time of their respective medical boards. That doesn't always have to be true, but I will be at that meeting to receive an award, and so that's the disclaimer. But I would just want the board's, of vote in terms of the delegate that you deem to be adequate or appropriate or both to represent the Hawaii Medical Board on the House of Delegates.
Motion to nominate Dr. Takanishi to serve as the Hawaii Medical Board's delegate.
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor of, well, I guess I have to do a quick roll call. I don't see Mr. Munn. So Danny Takanishi, in favor. And again, it feels a little bit strange to us, but I've, as you know, I've served in this capacity in a number of occasions. Mr. Gary Belcher?
In favor.
Dr. Andrew Fong?
In favor.
Dr. Brian Hatton?
In favor.
Dr. Elizabeth Ignacio?
In favor.
Dr. Wesley Munn? Oh, Mr. Wesley Munn, sorry.
In favor.
Okay.
In favor.
Dr. Angela Pratt?
In favor.
Dr. Rebecca Sawai?
In favor.
And Dr. Jerry Young?
In favor.
Okay, thank you. So now, because I did see that Chelsea received an email and I was copied on it as the medical board chair. I do see our Deputy Attorney General. Did you want to make any comments?
I just wanted to make sure, Chelsea, did we take the 2/3 vote to add?
Oh, I think we had the motion and the second on that, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So procedurally, so
You're too fast for me, Dan.
so procedurally, well, I guess we need to rescind this, don't we?
I'm okay if you just vote on that motion and we'll rearrange the order in the minutes.
All right. So we need a motion to put that on the agenda first of all.
Oh, we have the motion and the second, so you motioned and who seconded? Dr. Jaffe and seconded adding to the agenda. We just need to take the vote.
Oh, okay. All right. That's right. Thank you. So glad to have you. That is true. And then we went on to the second motion. Okay. So the motion on the floor, the original motion, which we did not vote on, and we just moved ahead, was to put this on the agenda. And so is there any further discussion? All those in favor, okay, let me do a quick roll call. I see. So myself, Danny Takanishi, I move to approve that motion. Mr. Gary Belcher?
Approve.
Dr. Andrew Fong?
Approve.
Dr. Brian Hatton?
Approve.
Dr. Elizabeth Ignacio?
Approve.
Dr. Michael Jaffe?
Approve.
Mr. Wesley Munn?
Approve.
Dr. Angela Pratt?
Approve.
Dr. Rebecca Sawai?
Approve.
And Dr. Jerry Young?
Approve.
Okay. All right. So I think now we're in order. So thank you for that, Deputy Attorney General. So executive officer report, it looks like we have a reminder here, and I think there's a deadline. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Ms. Kanaga.
Just a friendly reminder to the board that your financial disclosures to the Ethics Commission is due on June 2nd of this year. I provided instructions on how to file it, but if you do need any assistance, please let me know.
This is much better. You know, in the old days, we had to actually fill out the form and mail it in. And you couldn't FedEx it in because it's a P.O. box. So you have to just keep calling to make sure they got it. Because it actually is a fine if board and commissions, legislators, et cetera, the governor doesn't turn that in by the deadline. I think it's a $50 fine. Mm-hmm. So anyways, all right, any questions on that? Okay, so I believe, Ms. Okunaga, that we're done with our business. Any other matters that the board deems that we need to discuss or that we missed? I don't think so. So with that, I think that motion for adjournment.
Oh, we can just adjourn.
Okay. All right. So we'll take it by acclamation. So thank you, everyone. We'll see you on April 10th.
Good. Bye.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Dr. Takanishi, on your award.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I love your shirt, man. Looking stylish.
Okay. Thank you.